Good morning, learners of success and happiness. I'm very happy again to introduce the topic of ethics to you. Before we go further in ethics, let's start by theoretical considerations. Morals. There exists a large variety of morals practices depending on different people living on earth. This to say that each ethnic group has its morals. The word moral comes from Latin mos, which means the same thing. Several authors define morals as set of rules of behavior considered as right by a human community. The moral values concern the values of conduct accepted by a practiced in society. Some authors speak of moral code, that is to say, the set of rules of conduct of a given community. Morals have their roots in individual conscience. The sources of morals are tradition, culture, environment, and natural laws. Ethics. The word ethic comes from the Greek word ethos, which means custom. Ethics is defined as the science of good and evil. Ethics distinguishes notions of good and evil, morals and immorality, or values and values. Actually, ethics, it's like a moral. The only difference is that moral is for a given community, yet ethics is universal. Academically, ethics is a branch of philosophy which is classified among social sciences. Ethics finds its origin in human community. The moral philosophy or ethics begins when philosophical criticism of variant moral practices is made. Ethics wants our life to be characterized by positive human values. The aim of ethics is to look for perfection, which is an ideal that we must approach. It is to look for welfare for human beings. In simple English, it's to look for happiness of human beings. Ethics is divided into two main branches. Applied ethics, it studies moral problems that we face daily, individually or collectively. It tries to resolve them or make the analysis progress. For instance, cheating, it's an individual moral problem. Immigrants' claims, it's a problem of states. Professional ethics, this is often called deontology. It is a branch of ethics that deals with moral problems with regard to professionals like teachers, lawyers, medical doctors, social workers, business people. All of them have their ethics. Spirit is soul and body. It is important to make a clear distinction between spirit, soul, and body. The truth is that a human being is made of three parts: body, soul, and spirit. The spirit comes from God and is for God. You will see it in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7 of the Bible. And you will see in Genesis 1, 26 up to 27, that he blew into his nostril a breath of life, and man became a living soul. As soon as the breath of the life which became man's spirit got into contact with his body, the soul was produced. The soul is thus the combination of person's body with its spirit. The spirit has got three main functions. The function of moral conscience, the discernment role which distinguishes good from evil. The function of intuition, it implies a direct perception free from any external influence of intelligence, sentiment, feeling, or will. The function of communion with God, worship. Soul, the soul has three principal faculties. the faculty of intelligence, the faculty of will, the faculty of emotion. We may say that the faculty of intelligence is the instrument of our thoughts and intellectual capacities, such as knowledge, reasoning wisdom, imagination, memory, etc. The faculty of will, of course, it's the instrument of decision for or against decision. The faculty of emotion, thanks to the soul, we can express our feeling of love, hatred, sadness, joy. The faculty of emotion can be either bad or good, either positive or negative. Thanks to the body, thanks to its five senses: sight, hearing, smelling, taste, and touch. A body is connected to external world. The human being instincts are like the instincts of animals. That is the reason why they must be completely dominated by the spirit, the spiritual person. Through the soul, by spirit, the person is in relation with the spiritual world, God, and by his body is in relation with external world. The soul is located between the two worlds. The soul is a combination of body and spirit. A living person is linked to a spiritual and to the material world by the body. The spirit cannot directly act on the body. It needs an intermediary, which is the soul. The body, through the soul, can bring the spirit to love the world. Of those three elements, the spirit is the most noble because it is linked to God. The body is the lowest because it is contact with external world. Conscience. The word conscience has two meanings: psychical conscience and moral conscience. The psychical conscience is the factor that helps a person to know their proper reality. The human being has three psychical states: the state of conscience, the state of subconscious, and the state of unconsciousness. The moral conscience is the factor that helps an individual to make a moral, valuable judgment on their thoughts, attitudes, behavior, and acts. For instance, to have a clear conscience, to have nothing to be blamed for, to have a guilty conscience, to be blamed in front of God, and one's moral conscience. The moral conscience and individual acts. Whatever we do as individuals, it has source in our thoughts. The first step is conception. After conception, there is deliberation. After deliberation, there is decision. After decision, execution. And in execution, it can be good, which leads to moral satisfaction and happiness, as well as it can be bad. When it leads to bad, it leads to interior pain, self-heartbreak, painful spot on moral conscience, a personal condemnation, and then appeal for self-unity, appeal for interior peace. When there is a refusal, there is a recidivism. And when there is acceptance, there is repentance, which is a profound and sincere regret. The reparation, begging for pardon, fine, giving back what was stolen, for instance. And the sincere devotion of not refunding in front of God, in front of your moral conscience, and in front of offended person. Interior peace regained, which is happiness. Let's culture. The word culture has got several definitions, which all converge. In his book entitled Primitive Culture, Edward Taylor defines the culture like a complex set of language, knowledge, beliefs, arts, laws, morals, customs, and habits that person has acquired as member of the society. Culture is a common denominator for members of human society. The culture develops certain solidarity among them and constitutes one of the most important means to distinguish them as members from other cultures. People without culture are like a house without foundation. Some authors use the culture to speak some people's techniques, such as how to dress, housing, tools, arts, etc. These are added to immaterial culture, such as language, customs, beliefs, and so on. It is important to avoid ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is when you think that your culture is the best. Rather, we should opt for symbiosis culture, which is taking the positive aspects of your culture, you add the positive aspects of foreign culture. Let's see the civic education. The word civic comes from Latin civic, means citizens. Civic education is designed to prepare students for their citizen role, which consists of knowing both their civic rights and obligations. Civic education aims at training the people to be good citizens, executives for the development of the country. Besides their knowledge and skills, they should have high moral values, integrity, commitment, determination, tolerance, and patriotism. Dear learners of success, may I request you and encourage you that whatever business you do, the foundation should be ethical values of integrity, character, and excellence. May God bless you. Thank you.